People of Mogo. Soon you'll all be safe. No one shall be left behind.
What's up everybody, Willis here, and we're taking a look at DC Universe Online today. It's actually a classic MMO set within the world of DC. The game's been out for a while, but they just celebrated their 15th anniversary. The new update comes with a bunch of new content, story, and ways to customize your characters, so it's actually the perfect time to check it out. Before we do though, I do want to give a massive shout out to DC Universe Online team for sponsoring this video. If you're thinking about jumping in, be sure to check out the link in the description, and you can also use the code HEROIC15 to unlock the exclusive 15th anniversary emblem. This is a limited time cosmetic emblem for your character that is fully customizable, letting you match it to any theme you want. Be sure to redeem it before it's gone for good on the 28th of February. For those of you who have no idea what the game is, DC Universe Online is actually an MMO that throws you into the world of DC, letting you fight beside all of the staple heroes and villains in the unique story-driven missions. You get to make your own superhero or super villain, customizing their appearance as well as choosing a unique set of superpowers for you to use. There are a ton of options to choose from, including technology, magic, psychic powers, elemental powers, and even some iconic ones like the lantern rings. On top of your powers though, you can also pick from a bunch of different weapons. And honestly, there's pretty much everything you would expect. There's energy blasts, martial arts, guns, and all sorts of melee weapons. Finally, for your character, you get to pick how you move around. This can be simple acrobatics, letting you just parkour around. You've got super speed like the Flash, or even the power to fly freely. There's quite a few skill trees that you can spread your build around, including an iconic powers skill tree that lets you pick up staple powers like Batman's Batarangs or Superman's Ice Breath and stuff like that. I actually ended up making a ice-based villain, checking out the different powers that came with that. There's a ton to choose from, meaning you can really customize how you want to play. I started off blasting enemies at range while flying around. As I leveled up, I decided I wanted to be a tank, which I could easily do by switching out my abilities. Now, in group content, I pull enemies towards me, doing AoE damage and basically keeping things in place while the rest of the group finishes them off. I can actually surround myself in ice, giving me shields to make myself even tankier. It's actually been a really cool experience, basically custom crafting my own supervillain, which is what makes this MMO feel kind of unique compared to others. I haven't really seen this level of freedom in many other MMOs either, so I really enjoyed the more open feel to the class system. I ended up choosing flying as my movement type because there's just something so satisfying about zooming through the air compared to the other options. You feel a lot more free to take in the surroundings while traveling around. It honestly feels a bit OP if you want to bypass enemies out in the open world. Speaking of the open world, there's a bunch of iconic locations that fans of DC will be familiar with, including Metropolis and Gotham City. There's also a player housing system that lets you customize your own base, complete with fixtures and furniture, and there's actually a massive emphasis on character cosmetics. Each piece of gear you unlock has a style sign that you can apply to any other piece of gear you choose, letting you really hone in your personal look. There's a ton of references to classic iconic looks as well as recent runs such as the Absolute Superman series. But let's talk about the new stuff they added in this update. On the 27th of January, they released the Hope Burns Bright free DLC. This update added in the final questline of the latest lantern-based story arc, Light and Rain. In it, you get a call from Guy Gardner, one of the Green Lantern, who warns that Mogo, living planet and also fellow Green Lantern, has fallen under the influence of the Grey. This has thrown Mogo's surface into disarray, causing it to freeze over with harsh blizzards that threaten the people living there. Gearing up and heading to Mogo, it's up to us to figure out exactly what's going on and defeat the people responsible. I actually had a lot of fun running through this story. It wasn't too long to play through, and even though it was the final arc in the current storyline, it's easy enough to follow. Without spoiling too much, several iconic characters from the Lanterns made an appearance, including Guy Gardner and John Stewart. As someone who hasn't really checked out anything to do with Green Lantern since the old TV shows, it was kind of cool to see them in action. It's not just Green Lantern characters, with a good showing from some of the other colors as well, including the Blue Lanterns like Saint Walker and members of the Red Lantern Corps like Atrocitus and Bleez. It was also really interesting to see how they represented the Grey Lanterns, who until now have not had much media to flesh them out. I was a bit surprised at how dark the story was, given how light-hearted the game feels otherwise. It really raised the stakes and made each boss fight feel much more impactful. I'd be more interested to go back and try earlier arcs to get some more context since the story is now complete. The update also brings with it an event under the same name, which gives you a bunch of things to do like dailies, weeklies, a world boss, and instant content. Completing one of these things each day from now until the 23rd of February will unlock rewards to help you power up your artifacts and your companions, as well as giving you access to the brand new Blue Lantern Ring Augment. Leveling this augment up will give you access to 5 new Blue Lantern based powers, a bunch of which are especially amazing on healers. These can be used alongside your already existing power sets so you can tailor them to your own playstyle. This is especially relevant as they just added a second hotbar you can switch to mid-combat, doubling the amount of abilities you can use at once. So now there's even more options and ways to play. The event and rewards are available for a limited time with full access through to February 23rd. New instances include the new Summer of Sorrows solo instance, which pits you against the Grey Lantern Lucia in an epic one-on-one boss fight. On top of that, you have a new Matron's Orphanage instance, which is covered by both an alert and raid. For those who don't know, alerts are 4-man instance content, basically dungeons if you play MMOs, while raids can have up to 8 players and they're longer. These work how you would probably expect, with the party triangle of tank, DPS, and healer needed to complete them, which then gives you a chance at powerful rewards. There are a bunch of new gear to unlock in these new instances, each with their own unique cosmetic look, and you can use these on your character. It was actually interesting to see how bosses were handled in this MMO, given the amount of mobility you're otherwise afforded with something like flight. While I didn't find the story content super difficult, the instant stuff felt good, and I'd like to see some more of the more difficult raids alike at the higher tiers. I did come across quite a few players in the open world, and it was cool to see all of our powers going off all at once while we cleared the objectives. Even though I ended up mostly playing solo, I think going through with a couple of friends would have been good, especially when tackling the instance content. Due to my tankier build, there were times where I couldn't quite burst down groups, but it's still very possible to complete everything I tried. If you're into DC Universe or you like superheroes in general, I really reckon you should give this a shot. Give it a download, check out the new stuff as well to have a go at making your own hero or villain. I think that's the coolest part. But that's going to be it for the video today, guys. We've really pretty much only scratched the surface with this game because it's a pretty much entire MMO. So if you like the sound of it, there's plenty of content to keep you occupied. Again, massive thank you to DCU Online for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out the link in the video description if you want to give it a go. And yeah, if you're already playing the game, leave a comment. See you guys in the next video.